Al Sharpton. You probably know him, maybe you don't. But it's a very big name in America. It's a civil rights lawyer, black, by the way. Anyway, so now he threatened to lead a boycott against the company. Now, PepsiCo, one of the largest food and beverage companies in North America, whose brands include Gatorade, Lay's potatoes, Doritos, blah, 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 now are saying that, you know what, we will no longer be having, minority representation in our managerial roles. That is, they were saying they were not going to give 2 slots. No, they want to just make it open. And historically, America, particularly the corporate world in America, has been known to be very dismissive of minorities. Now, you want to call it affirmative action or whatnot, and then they say, okay, because of that, let us make 3 women on this board. This board must have at least 3 or 5 women. At least 2 must be Hispanic. 1 must be from Puerto Rico. They do that so that it's more inclusive. But they told them that if you don't change this, we are going to stop buying your products. Now, that's what a boycott is. Now, historically, blacks have boycotted. It's one of the biggest things that happened during the civil rights movement. But do you know that even you in Nigeria, you can boycott? And I'll tell you why when we return. Stay tuned.
Nigeriainfo. Right.
Tomorrow, the big one, 1 million naira is going to be shared on Nigeriainfo this morning. And if you've been buying your tickets from Monday till today, till tomorrow, you are equally likely to get your hands on this moolah for the Easter weekend. Don't forget, oneplay.ng is where you get to, all right? And then follow the thread, get to Hello Port Harcourt, buy your tickets. This morning, once again, somebody by maybe 11:50 is going to be, going home with, how much is it? I think it's 25,000. Yeah. It's about 25,000 there again. But anywho, let us stick with our first conversation. Now, do you think, my question this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is this: do you think Nigerians actively boycott things or people? That means they avoid them. Boycott is basically a way of protesting. Is basically a way of expressing displeasure, about someone's action or activity, or a company's action or activity, or sometimes even a government's action or activity. Now, during the civil rights era, of the late 60s and early 70s and mid 70s, the blacks in America boycotted the bus system, the bus route. So the blacks refused to enter buses, right? That were obviously largely owned by the government, and, they were segregated. So a black person was not allowed to sit in the front. All the blacks were meant to sit at the back of the bus, no matter what was happening, right? You must sit at the back. It was an empty bus. You will walk straight down. Rosa Parks said, I'm tired. I'm not doing this any longer. I am not going to stand up. Then from then on, it spiraled, and then, they called. And then all the blacks who had cars back then were rallied around, were called. Say, look, if you have a car, you will run a carpool system. Everybody who's going to walk on your route, you will drop them. Nobody will pay for any government bus until they stop this criminal law. Eventually, the segregation law was removed. Blacks cannot go on buses. Yay! But let me tell you a story here as a Nigerian that might just interest you. Some of you may be going through the same thing. Some of you have been boycotting, maybe a brand. Maybe the company you bought your TV from, you don't like them. So, 2 days ago, I was at Rumosi roundabout. By the way, the Ring Road Bridge is good, by the way. So the traffic that used to plague Rumosi Junction is no longer there. So I have a few people I like to buy granite and fruits from. I love bananas, I love pears, I love mangoes. But I buy a lot of granite because I use them to cook. Now, I get to this stand. I want to buy granite. And this man, how much? Okay, fine. We agree the price. Granite now, the big cup is 4,000 naira. I was like, what? Anyway, what choice do I have? Man has to eat. I was paying, and I said, oh God, please, what is your bank number? Let me transfer the money to you. I said, hey, I don't get to go call POS. I said, no. Immediately, I got very incensed and upset. I said, no, because you are trying to inconvenience me. You want me to now pay an extra 100 naira for a service that I could have paid cheaply. But because you refuse to give me your bank number, because you're afraid, I told you, if I transfer, I will not leave here until you see your credit. And if you don't see it, I don't mind. I will leave it with you. I can come back tomorrow. I've done this. I don't have a problem with it. I will come back tomorrow and pick my item when you confirm your payment. He said, no, I got no worry. Maybe call POS. Maybe say people like us not get bank. I not go school. I was like, what? How is that an excuse to not have a bank account? There are so many bank wallets these days. Grandmothers at Mbiama Junction have their wallets, their digital wallets that they can transfer money to. And this man inside Port Harcourt is telling me that he doesn't have. I told him this will be the last time I will ever buy anything. He said, okay, I never reach like that. I said, no, you are inconveniencing me. And it's a very bad, the fact that you refuse to get a bank detail, you want me to always come and transfer money to somebody else to give you money, cash, by the way, you are a thief. And I left. And what surprised me was that as I was leaving, somebody else said the same thing. Okay, why you don't get account? If I not go buy, no stress me. And three of us, about 2 or 3 of us, we all left. We walked away, boycotting. The question is, what have you boycotted? Some of you have stopped buying beef from one butcher. Some of you have stopped buying clothes from a particular tailor or seamstress or whatever. But have you stopped patronizing your corrupt politicians' houses? Have you stopped going there? Some of them that you know that they have, with the stolen money, built petrol stations, built supermarkets, built hospitals and schools. Have you stopped? When it's now made known, it's not conjecture. When they say, oh, this man was accused, and then the government say, oh, EFCC now investigates and say, oh, it's like this man stole money, or like say you don't even know how he got the money, but you cannot exactly say that, oh, this man, we know that you got this money from doing this job. You were a local government chairman. How come you have not built a 7-story hotel in Abuja? Where did you get the money from? If you know this, why have you not stopped going there? Why have you not boycotted the criminal, excuse me, the businesses of alleged fraudsters, alleged corrupt politicians? But you still keep going there. Why are you not boycotting? It's my question.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo. And now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 0817923-0003. 92.3, good morning. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm Patrick. I'm calling from my friend here.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Yes, thank you very much. Do you know that we need to put more sensitization to ensure that this place, people that we use PS, they will understand what transaction means. That's mobile transaction. It is stopping as I'm talking to you. And it will not also blend them. Some people will do fake transfer. Like in my shop, one day, I was receiving complaint that some people will transfer money, say the thing has gone. They will show them. But there was a day I was there. They also presented the same thing. I have to look at it closely and found out that it was a former transfer they made with that my account that they.
Patrick, hello, Patrick, can you hear me, please?
I can hear.
Look, I understand that concern, and I said, I don't know if you listen. I said, look, I'm willing to wait for you to receive check your apps. That's why they tell people check your bank. If anybody transfer money, check your apps, do your USSD code to check your balance, right? But that's not the main focus. Is not the POS. The main focus is if you know somebody that is bad, or you know somebody that is doing something that you don't like as a person, why do you still go and patronize that person's business? Why don't you boycott that person's business?
Okay, Jude, what you are saying is very, very correct. Because everything now paid is through POS. And that is the easy way to carry out money. Like me, I don't go out with cash. I pay with transfer. Because I don't want anything to challenge me on the way. So, what we need to do is to sensitize the public. Sensitization is highly needed in this case.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. My question is following my conversation. Now, this one says, Drew, Gunners for life. Pastor Smart in Port Harcourt. You guys can take your victory. Now, good morning, Jude. Boycotting is not realistic because we all have conflicting opinions, mainly due to greed and stomach infrastructure. Beauty from Igruta. Beauty, thank you very much. Now, Jude, all right. This one says everything about the Dangote brand. Me, I've avoided the avocado since I became an adult. That's Arcelia. All right, so that's you. That's your choice. Now, Beauty, just to answer you, see, Arcelia here is saying, oh, she's boycotted anything Dangote brand. The fact that you are boycotting doesn't mean the company will fall, but it means that you are expressing a displeasure in the quality or in the service that you receive from. It's just like when I started listening. Let me say this very honest. When I started working here about 6-7 years ago, I know some people sent me out a message overnight. Jude, because of you, I will stop listening to Nigeriainfo. Go and bring back this night show used to be fire. This night show, we used to enjoy it. Now, I don't know if you are here to toast girls. I don't like you. And they said, we will never listen to you again. They had a right to. They boycotted the show. It was their right. It was their responsibility to do so because they were satisfying their own conviction, which is fair. But what about you, a Nigerian? You know that this man or this woman was a former drug dealer. You know that this man is the one that is pushing the bad products in your community. Yet, you still go and buy from his shop. Kurt is in Uniport. Kurt, good morning to you. Good morning. Hello, Kurt, I can hear you. Go on, please. Good morning. Yeah, go on, please. Kurt, turn off your radio set. Oh, dear. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Now, Joe from Rumigbo, thank you very much. I've just seen your message. It's about a complaint of extortion. We'll send this out because I actually witnessed this. Was that last week? And I'll tell you the story that I experienced. But thank you very much, Joe from Rumigbo. Now, Jude, people boycott in this country now, or we leave mass bad reviews on your place. Okay. Besides, there's something about convenience. Nigerians don't like stress. If we boycott a popular brand, it might be stressful to find alternatives. For example, says that David Dane released a documentary with facts all about the links between the founders of Conflicts Company and Boko Haram. Did I boycott NASCO? No, it was cheaper for us. Well, once again, it brings me to the conversation of cancel culture. We should be very careful about cancel culture because, bad information or misinformation, can come through and, so a business can be damaged. I know, it's true. I am not saying, neither is this conversation suggesting that, if you hear in the news or if you see on social media that Jude has 3 brick coconuts in his backyard that used to do juju, so please stop. I'm not saying that's what you should believe. But I'm saying that if you have a personal conviction, if you've seen enough evidence about something or someone or even a product, right? Why then would you continue to use it? It's kind of like if you know that this soup is bad. Or imagine, and I know a lot of you do this. You have tasted Mama Nkiru's rice at the junction. You've tasted Mama Yabo's rice further down. And you've now tasted, Young, whose starch and is the to die for further away. After you taste all these 3 meals, have you noticed that you prefer one over another? That person that you are not going to is the one you're boycotting. Why? Because you are convinced that woman's food is not as sweet as MM's food. Simple. We can do that for food. Why can't we do that for really important issues? Kurt on the line. Kurt, good morning to you. Yeah, we can hear you. Go on, please.
My brother, political differences will not allow us to boycott anything in this country.
Religion. All right, call. There's so much noise on that line, but I got that part. Yira from Igruta. Thomas on the line from on there. Thomas, good morning to you.
Yes, Mr. Jude, good morning.
Good morning.
Calling from Port Harcourt on air.
Welcome, please.
Yes, conviction. The topic you brought up this morning is apt. I'm a person that once I'm convicted about the thing, I hate evil. And once I'm convicted that what a particular person is doing is evil, whatever that concerns that person, I go all out frontally to boycott, even avoid the individual. There is a particular supermarket in Port Harcourt and water. that if you give me for free, I won't drink it. If that supermarket is giving out goods for free, no matter how much the cost of the the goods, I'm not going to agree. Since I got the conviction and I investigated, I come to find out that the hyper supermarket and the
we don't need to mention names. We don't need to mention names.
Okay, so sorry.
You don't need to mention names. Just
belongs to the former governor of Rivers State. I can't. I'm not been there. I will never go there to buy a thing, even if it's for free. That is one of the things that could have been boycotting here in Port Harcourt, and I'll continue to boycott it as long as I live. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. But once again, what if your information is false? You know, that once again, that's why I said.
It's true.
Wait, hold on, Thomas. That's why I said. Once again, it's not about names, which is why I said, look, if you're boycotting one product or the other, like somebody said, they don't want to take Jude's Gary, they don't like Dangote's Gary. Okay, so what is the proof? What is the evidence? Now, if you find out, right, and you do so on your own, right, no problem. But would you go around telling other people, don't go because this person is bad?
Okay, no, I've never convinced or tried to inculcate anybody to what I have believed.
Okay, all right, Thomas. So what exactly then is the issue? Is it the conviction? Is it the fear? Or is it the lack of option? Now, you and I know that there are some places that you can go and eat your meals and you would not bat an eyelid. And word of mouth obviously will come through. That woman food is sweet now. Go try him. Go try him. Go try him. So not too sweet, no try him. Then some people tell you, well, for me, I like this woman, no. But go try. If that one, no problem. If that one don't like you, no wahala. Just try and share. But there are times in life where a collective actually gets to see that, no, something is not quite right here. And maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't want my money to come into that business. Or I wouldn't want my patronage to go to this particular place. And it happens in religious sectors. I've heard of people who say, we heard in that church, that pastor collected offering. He did not give one man who was hungry, and he said, because of that thing, I will never go back to that church. For me, I will not go. The person was convinced. Now, call me Jimmy. All right. Nigerians don't have interest in protesting for their safety rights. Fidelis from Chokocho in HA. Hello, Jude. Good morning. I think as a collective, we can't boycott because we are too poor to do so. When we find cheaper alternatives all the time. From Drew. Okay. Now, I boycotted someone who exploited me as the POS lady selling airtime. I asked her, POS lady rather, I asked her to send it to my phone, and she did because I saw the alert. When I loaded the airtime, the service provider said I have no credit on my phone. For that reason, I boycotted that lady's shop from that day. Ipalibo says, "Good morning, Jude." All right, so because of that experience, and this is a danger, in having not just a one-side story, but having a bad day, not being on your game. Everybody makes mistakes, right? I've met people who, like I told you earlier on, who said, we stopped listening to Nigeriainfo because Jude is on the night show and NO is no longer here. Nigeriainfo, bring back NO. Some of you who wrote those messages, you're probably still alive and you're probably still listening to me right now. Or maybe you still don't like my voice. You still don't like the way I analyze things. You still don't like how I ask you questions. And I'm fine with it. And because it's not a perfect system, right? I understand our nuances. And you are right. Don't get me wrong. You are absolutely right. But you were vocal enough to express your displeasure. I am curious. How come you are not so vocal to express your displeasure when you find out that your local government chairman, after just 2 years of being in the office, he claims he was a businessman, but it was only after he got into the office as LG, he was able to buy 5 brand new vehicles, each of them worth 100 million naira. He was able to buy land, 3 or 4 hectares of land, open farm. He was able to start a business, a hotel, a shopping mall. They like shopping malls a lot in this state. Yes. And then you are all rushing in there. Did you ever find out where this money? Let's say you did find out. let's say for the sake of this Nigerian conversation, this Port Harcourt conversation, you now found out that this man, but I saying thief money. Or your friend, suddenly, like what I say, he hit up. He don't hammer. I tell hammer. Blessing na Yahoo Indo. Blessing na oil bunker Indo. You still go to his shop. Why? It not concern you now, Abi? Okay, no problem. Now, people cannot boycott what they covet, admire, or agree with. It doesn't matter the daily morning noise Nigerians make and call it prayers. The real God many worship is money. As long as you have money, there will always be Nigerians that will make excuses for you or overlook your moving mad. Now, a few days ago, a wealthy man had a massive party in Abuja to mark his birthday. One of the so-called showpieces was 50 people wrapped around like dead bodies. Ooh, wow. That's zombies, right? But because of whose party it was, there are currently people online tapping into what is obviously sick. A popular so-called pastor was pictured at the party, and his followers are online clapping that their daddy Gio is in the second class, rubbing shoulders with the rich. I remember many years ago starting to feel some type of way about a particular pastor whose church I was actually a member of because of his obsession with wealth and designer labels. He'd mention them in his seminars and make it look like those were proof of divine blessing. I left the place. The worship of money is real. Anonymous. Oh, really? You guys really don't care as long as the money is there? What am I saying? We're Nigerians. You guys have said this before, haven't you? Or am I mistaken? At Nigeriainfo PH. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH. Now, Drew, good morning. I totally agree with your analysis. Nigerians very readily will boycott the female vendor who sells food, or they say she has put jars in the food. They will boycott the man whose fuel pump is not very good, but they will not boycott their. Oh, okay. I won't use this word. Okay. You will not I'll just say you will not boycott their politicians. Wow, Mr. Franklin, you're trying to put me in trouble this morning. They will not boycott their politicians who regularly support them and supply them with contracts and stolen funds. How dare you boycott your source of income, frankly? Right. Okay, once again, please, when you are sending us message, please use, let's be civil, right? Yes, we can argue and disagree, but we can also be civil, please. You don't need to throw, vulgar words or, swear words, right? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Thank you very much. Now, boycotting is in the DNA of every human being, Jude. If I don't like something, I sure as the next day will not go there if I have an alternative. But sadly, most Nigerians don't have alternatives. So it's the lesser evil or the evil that they manage. Eric, with that comment. 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Mr. Jude, good morning.
Good morning, please.
How are you doing today?
Very welcome, please. Thank you for joining us.
In fact, I am highly interested in this program this morning. Highly interested. Do you know why?
Go on, please.
I have boycotted. Sorry, my name is Samson Mars. I am calling from GRO.
Welcome, please, Samson.
I have boycotted what I call my best friend as a pastor. You know why?
Why, please?
When I was in governance with the former governor, I work in his office. That's Amici to be precisely, as executive assistant. I wedded this guy with a young lady. I paid the dowry.
Oh.
Did everything for him. Sponsor traditional to the wedding, to the white wedding. But do you know that in 2023, this guy siphoned me into millions with my friend by projecting an offshore job in Bonny. Gave me a list to fill. And I filled the whole list. And I paid heavily. Brought in friends, best friends. And they all put in their money. we did not see the LNG job till today. Most of my friends sold properties, pledged properties.
Oh dear.
And I sold some properties of mine. As I am talking with you now, I have boycotted him for life. In fact, I was almost making a case to collect all the children because I paid for the dowry. The first one was named after me by himself.
That's a deep friendship there.
Yes, I actually wanted to collect all the children because my money. But, however, I have boycotted him for life. Let him live with the stigma of what he has done to me. So it is good to boycott things that you know they are not worthful to patronize with. That is my little experience so far. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. This one on WhatsApp says, I boycotted the red filling station at Mumo Christian Junction because they deducted a 50 naira charge for my fuel after transferring 1,500 naira from to them. Budu with that comment. Ooh, speaking of petrol station, there was one years ago when we were in Uniport, right? There used to be one petrol station along this road. This express road. Most of the drivers will know this name. They used to call it Beer that time. How many of you remember this thing? I'm not making this up. Look, if there was no petrol scarcity, almost no taxi driver buys fuel from that petrol station. I mean, almost none. Because whenever this man would have fuel during the petrol scarcity, there was always something wrong with the meter. We'll be back.
Nigeriainfo will be right back.